Good morning, my friends. This is Eddy Turner, and I want to give you a series of podcasts about dreams. And a lot of this has occurred because we've had a lot of people lately that are having dreams. And I want us to understand that dreams are something that are from God, and they're something that we all experience. You know, if we really sit down and we think about it, do you know that we spend about a third of our time sleeping? You ever thought about that? You know, usually an 8 hours a night would be great, and a lot of people get that. That's a third of a day. And so what that means is by the time you're 60 years old, you spend at least 20 years of your life in dreamland. And ever since the time of Abraham, if you remember, Abraham is the father of our faith, God has spoken to mankind through dreams. Actually, 1/3 of the scripture is either directly or indirectly relating to a dream or a vision. And a lot of people just don't realize that. A lot of people don't think about that, but it is true. Actually, I think if we're going to be looking at how we should interpret dreams or what we should think about dreams or how we should try to figure out what God's trying to tell us, then maybe the absolutely wisest way to begin is to just look at how people viewed them in Jesus' day. How did they view dreams? How were they trying to interpret them? How were they trying to understand what God was trying to tell them to? So I want to start by just reading you something. I want to read you from Job 33:14 through 18. And it says, "For God may speak in one way or another, yet man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls upon men while slumbering in their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. In order to turn man from his deed and conceal pride from man, he keeps back from his soul the pit, and from his life from perishing by the sword." You see, dreams are clearly stated to be one of the means that God communicates to people. Job said it, even back in the Old Testament. The problem is we don't always comprehend the meaning of what it is that God's trying to tell us. In Numbers 12:6, God says, "Hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in a vision, and I speak to him in a dream." In other words, even the prophetic people that we revere so much, lots of times they got their instructions through dreams in the Old Testament, and it was commonplace back then. So maybe one of the first lessons that we should learn is that God's grace, He didn't just give dreams to His followers, but He gave them to all mankind to teach and advise them. You didn't have to just believe in God to have a dream. It's the same way today. He still does it that way today. They do not have to be a Christian to have a dream. All mankind has dreams. In Genesis 20, there was a pagan king named Abimelech, and he had a dream. And in this dream, God appeared to him, and Abimelech very quickly, and without any protest at all, even though he was king, he made some decisions that were based on what God told him in that dream. A lot of people call this the first reference to dreams in the scriptures. It actually happened in Genesis 20. But I believe that the first recorded dream actually came to Abraham. Now, I'm way out on a limb on this because a lot of people are saying it happened in Genesis 20, but I'm saying it happened in Genesis 15, and that was when he told Abraham about the 400-year captivity of Israel. And the reason they don't say that that was a dream is because it literally says a dream in Genesis 20. But in Genesis 15, when he talks to Abraham, he says that he talked to him in the night. So to me, that's a dream. But in all, the Bible contains about 200 stories or 200 references to dreams. That's a lot. People had dreams, they interpreted these dreams, and they made life decisions based on these dreams. These dreams were a very, very integral part of their lives. But there's one detail that stands out in all of these biblical stories, all 200. There's one important detail that stands out that I think is very important for us to understand today. And that is that none of these dreamers seemed surprised that God would speak to them this way, or that they would make decisions centered around what they dreamed. It appears that hearing God in this way wasn't something new or out of the ordinary to them in those days. It was a frequent occurrence in their lives, or it happened enough that it didn't surprise them. Somehow, in our culture, we seem to have lost this perspective on dreams. But I believe that we should seriously stop and consider how does God speak to us? What is he saying when he gives us dreams? We need to do this before we just dismiss it and just say that our dreams mean nothing. Our dreams do not account to anything. We need to try to understand, is this from God, and what is he trying to tell me? In the next podcast that I'm going to do, I'm going to discuss some of the biblical examples and some of the current examples we have today of dreams and their impacts on their lives. And I just wanted this to be an introduction to say that we're going to talk about dreams for a few days now. I think it's a very important topic. I think it's something that everybody's having or has had or will have. Most of the time, I think that it's God talking to us if we will just listen and we will understand and know how know how he reveals himself to us and what it is he's trying to tell us so we can have a better life with him. Think on these things, and if you dream, write it down. Have a great day, my friends, and a happy new year. God bless.